Let's make a jellyfish cookie together. You're going to start about 1/3 of the cookie drawing a little circular oval shape, and then taking a line, and it should look a little bit like a hat to the top. And that's going to be where our jellyfish head, is that the right word for it, is going to be. And then we're going to come in with the white and outline the cookie and outline that jellyfish head, so it looks even more like a hat after that. Then you're going to fill in with the white icing. This was the last cookie I was decorating. This is the last of my white icing, and I was running out, and I'm struggling to get as much out of here as possible. It feels like such an accomplishment when you finish when you finish decorating a cookie with a specific color and you can get all the rest of that icing out. And that is what I did. I got all the icing out of that bag. It was wonderful. And then I'm coming in with my scribe and just moving it where I want it to be, because that was not a pretty decoration. This is the easiest way to get it out of the piping bag, not the best way to decorate this cookie. And I'm just making sure we're at the edge of everywhere. And then I'm going to come in with my purple. You can use any color for this. It just got to be a contrasting color. And I'm going to create kind of 2 wavy lines next to each other, and then I'm going to want to fill them in. And I'm going to do 2 of these. So this is creating kind of like 2 of those flowy ribbon, are they called tentacles on jellyfish? I don't feel like they're tentacles. I don't know what they're called. But I'm creating like 2 ribbons underneath the jellyfish. Don't worry, we will be adding more tentacles. What are they called? I cannot think of it. We're going to be adding more little strings onto the bottom. They're not all going to be this thick one, but we're going to start with that. And then just like with all the other cookies, we set it aside and we wait for it to get matte. We wait for it to crust over. We're going to come in with the light blue, and we're going to outline the top of that hat. So not that little section in the middle. I got worms on the brain. Not that worms shaped section in the middle, but the kind of like half quarter circle right there. We're going to outline it first, and I like to have like 1 or 2 passes on that outline. Actually, I should have said 2 or 3 passes on that outline. It goes a little bit better, in my opinion. It can be a little sturdier. And then I'm going to fill it in with that light blue icing. Just all the way, and then I'm going to grab my scribe, make sure that I'm getting it to the edges, and then can you guess what comes after this? Of course, we're going to set it aside and let it crust over and mattify a little bit so that we can do our final steps. Actually, joke's on you, I forgot a step. So before we set it aside to let it dry a little bit, we're going to come add some stringy ribbon tentacles with the light blue that overlay the purple and the white section. And that's before we fill in that little wormy line section in between. And so once you have as many tentacles as you want, we don't want them to be overlapping at this point. It's not until we grab this dark blue, when things have dried a little bit, that we want them overlapping each other. So you can have this dark blue overlap the light blue. You don't want the dark blue to overlap the dark blue, because then those tentacles are kind of just going to merge together. But we have 3 different colored tentacles. I'm just going with it at this point. I think that's the right word. And then we're going to come in with the dark blue. Again, we're still using the dark blue. We're going to create that firm edge, sealing off the edge of our cookie. And then we're going to fill in, and I'm just pressure piping here. I don't feel like this needs to be any specific way. I don't think it's going to be overflowing or anything. It's going to look great. And I'm using my scribe to kind of just mix that in, get that where I need it to, and then get it right to the edge so that we're good to go. And we have our jellyfish. And before it's complete, grab that purple one more time, and we're going to add just a few dots onto the edge of our jellyfish. There's our completed jellyfish in the full Under the Sea set that uses 4 different colors: light blue, dark blue, purple, and white, and makes 4 different cookies. I hope you give it a try and let me know how your cookies go.